August is coming up quick, and there's a lot of great games that you're going to want to play. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, 10 new games to play in August 2018. Number 10 is Shenmue 1 and 2 Remastered, and these are games that I really love and did so much in contribution to narrative games, as well as open world games. In fact, the positive things about games today, most of them can root through Shenmue, but Shenmue is also an acquired taste. I am not going to say that these games stand up 100%, but I am going to say that if you play them, they will enrich your experience of the current games, and frankly, they have a good narrative, an interesting story. So it's not as if they don't hold up, it's just they're from a different era, and it's clear as you play them. Still, very much worth it. Shenmue 1 and 2 Remastered are coming to PC, PS4, and Xbox One on the 21st. Number 9 is Pro Evolution Soccer 2019, the only soccer game playing on the same engine as Metal Gear Solid, the Fox engine, and although Konami is... Pro Evolution Soccer has remained a pretty good example of a soccer game, or football game, depending on where you're from. A nice addition, they've upgraded the graphics to 4K HDR support. Obviously, your platform has to be capable of 4K HDR. And there's been some licensing juggling, let's say. There's still quite a lot of licensed teams, but the UEFA license, well, Konami has been thanked for their commitment for making the brand good. That doesn't mean it's going to be a bad game. In fact, Pro Evolution Soccer is pretty good generally. And as far as football/soccer games go, I'll probably want to at least give it a shot. Pro Evolution Soccer 2019 is coming on the 28th to PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Number 8 is We Happy Few, a game that has had some interesting hurdles over the years. What started off as an indie game became a AAA game, wears a lot of its influences on its sleeve, including BioShock, and takes the dystopian storytelling that's so ever-present in our world today, and I think actually does something pretty cool with it. It's a game that's also had some problems in Australia because of the fact that the game revolves entirely around taking joy pills, which essentially makes people think that they're not in a dystopia. That's the crux of the game, and apparently the drug use is a little bit too much for Australia's ratings association, but honestly it seems like it really does a good job of saying something interesting. I've been hesitant because of the fairly tumultuous development of We Happy Few, but I mean, if you've paid attention to it in early access, it's gone from being well-liked to hated to liked to hated. Recently, pretty well-liked though, and with good reason. It really seems like it's all come together. The real question is if the final release will really hit in the way maybe the idea of the game deserved. So it's coming to PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Check it out when it hits on the 10th. Number 7, if there's one series I can remember in the 1990s that we would huddle around the Sega Genesis to play, it's Madden NFL, and it's still going strong here in 2018 with the impending release of Madden NFL 19. Obviously, it's a little bit different of a game than it was back then, but it is in every way the same kind of good reason to get together, because thankfully there is still a game that includes offline multiplayer. Also, if you liked Longshot, the story-driven single-player campaign, which is not everyone's cup of tea, but there were some people that really loved it. There is a sequel to it in this game. As per usual, the visuals are absolutely amazing, and there's no real reason to think that it's going to be a worse game than last year's, and last year's was pretty good. Madden NFL 19 is coming on the 10th to PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Number 6 is World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth. It is now the 7th expansion to World of Warcraft. It does give some minor gameplay changes, though I don't know that it's going to be anything that really changes a lot of minds, so to speak. Supposedly there's going to be less class changes, some changes to items and stats that will lower the numbers, some changes in leveling, in older content, changes to the PvP rules where the default of every realm will now be only allowing players to attack NPCs in the open world, and a plot that directly continues the events of Legion. World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth is coming out exclusively on the PC, of course, on the 14th. Number 5 is Overcooked II, coming for all of the fans of this quirky co-op puzzle cooking thing. It's just a different game altogether. The first Overcooked is of course a great game, but to have a sort of larger scaled version of that, I think it's definitely something to look forward to. For those unfamiliar, Overcooked is billed as a quote-unquote cooking simulation, but it is not. It's just an over-the-top, cooperative kind of Bomberman, but for cooking, and I don't know exactly how well that describes it either. I think the fact that the game does defy explanation to some degree is an indicator that it is an original game, and in every way, I think that it is a fun game too. If you're up for that type of a party game, it's coming to PC, PS4, Switch, and Xbox One on the 7th, so look out for Overcooked 2. Number 4 is Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, an HD port of the 2016 Nintendo 3DS release. It was a well-received Monster Hunter entry, and I have it hitting on the Switch where we'll be able to play it in widescreen and HD. I'd say that's good. Nintendo's been the consistent home for Monster Hunter for quite a while, so it's cool to see that happen. Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate is coming on the 28th to Nintendo Switch. I am looking forward. Number 3 is Yakuza Kiwami 2, which is a remake of Yakuza 2, however, using the engine from Yakuza 6, which, by the way, is a stunning engine. It doesn't change up the plot, follows the same structure, but it does add a few things, including combat that is more akin to Yakuza 6, obviously, using the engine. At least one new narrative scenario in The Truth of Gojo Majima, and the inclusion of Yakuza 6 clan creator. Honestly, that they've been remaking the original Yakuza games with modern stuff and not changing them in drastic ways, just bringing us the sort of quality of life improvements that came in Yakuza 6. In all seriousness, it's freaking awesome. So if you liked Yakuza 6, and I loved Yakuza 6 and really haven't been around for the series, this is a good way of going back through it. And if you haven't gotten the original Yakuza Kiwami remake, do that too. Yakuza Kiwami 2 is coming to PS4 exclusively on the 28th. Number 2 is Dead Cells, a Metroidvania with some Dark Souls elements to it. It is a 2D game. It has retro art that is smoother than silk. It is a gorgeous game. It's worth playing, in my opinion, just for that, but I've played this on early access. It is the real deal if you're looking for 2D Souls-like combat with a very colorful color palette, reminiscent of kind of what a lot of the PlayStation era was intended to be like. Honestly, this is an amazing game, and I'm talking about the early access. I'm sure the final is going to be as worth it as anything else. You really, if you like Metroidvanias or the prospect of a 2D Dark Souls type game that's a little bit faster paced, sounds appealing, you have to try this one. It's that good. Dead Cells is coming to PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch on the 7th. And finally, number 1, Telltale's The Walking Dead, the final season, episode 1. It's kind of weird to be thinking about the fact that The Walking Dead is finally coming to a wind down. The Telltale series of The Walking Dead is basically the thing that made Telltale into the biggest narrative game developer, at least by name recognition. I can't tell you their financial numbers or anything like that, but you say Telltale, people know what you mean. This is going to be a 4-episode season. Its total cost will be $20, meaning it's $5 for this. We've seen the development of Clementine from just a kid now to sort of a young adult who can survive in a post-apocalyptic world on her own, and now she's kind of helping a child along herself. I just, that makes me worry a little bit about her fate, but we'll see. We all know how the first season went and her mentor, his fate, and Telltale knows how to jerk the tears. Telltale's The Walking Dead, the final season, episode 1, is hitting PC, PS4, and Xbox One on the 14th. Couple of bonus releases for you that we'd like to point out. Strange Brigade is a co-op third-person shooter, somewhat inspired by Left 4 Dead, which does the whole Left 4 Dead thing, except for kinda like Indiana Jones and kinda like the failed Dark Universe idea with mummies, giant scorpions, minotaurs, etc. as the enemies. It sounds like a pretty cool idea, and I'm looking forward to playing it. It's coming to PC, PS4, Xbox One on the 28th. Monster Hunter World is coming to PC this month. Monster Hunter World, of course, is the biggest example of a Monster Hunter game. It's a game that accrued both a lot of critical acclaim as well as a lot of players that are enjoying the hell out of it. It takes the game into an open world and adapts a lot of modern gaming ideas to the world without fundamentally changing it in a way that makes it weird for Monster Hunter fans. I love Monster Hunter World. It's accessible without detracting anything from the series. Monster Hunter World is hitting PC on the 9th. And finally, WarioWare Gold, the latest in the goofy party game, micro game. I don't know exactly how to put it, but it's a collection of very small quote-unquote micro games. WarioWare Gold comes with micro games from the past, as well as a bunch of new ones. Supposedly with more than 300 of them. It is, quite frankly, a great party game, and it's cool that they're still coming out with these. I hope they move it to Switch soon, because that would pretty much be the ultimate, in my opinion. Still, 3DS, it's a great platform, and it's worth playing the game. WarioWare Gold hits on the 3rd.
Oh, and don't mind me coming in for some last-minute additions. We also have Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Striker releasing at the end of the month, as well as F1 2018 if you like fast cars and big tracks.
What game are you looking forward to the most in August? Let us know in the comments, and if you like this video, please click the button. If you're not subscribed, now would be a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week, and the best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription. As always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at Falcon the Hero, and we'll see you next time right here on gameranx.